Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the Insight Junction Podcast, where we will share with you the amazing and insightful conversations with industry experts across all different types of work sectors. We will uncover the real stories behind success, their challenges faced, and the lessons they learned. I'm your co-host, Jaden Fukuo, and I am joined with
Sophie Dixon, your other co-host, and today we are joined by a very special guest, Yann Mrazek. So Yann's journey is both unique and inspiring, transitioning from a professional basketball to building a successful wealth advisory platform here in the UAE. So he's originally from Switzerland and he moved to Dubai in 2005, where after he ended his sports career. So he began first working with a law firm, but then soon took the entrepreneurial path and founded his own wealth advisory platform, MHQ, in 2009.
Yann has received several noticeable accolades in the field of private wealth law firms in the 16 years he's been running it. In fact, in both 2020 and 2021, he was recognized as the leading individual at the 8th Annual Wealth Brief MENA Awards for Excellence. In addition, he also led MHQ to Band 1 ranking in private wealth law for 7 consecutive years. Sophie, guess what? He didn't even have a game plan when he was in high school. I mean, truthfully, who does?
Yeah, you're right. It's like we're all just trying to figure things out as we go. And he really shows that it's okay not to have everything mapped out. Look at what he told us.
So I didn't really have a game plan going out of high school into university. In fact, I arrived to university first open day and trying to find something that fit with my basketball career. So it was pretty much between economics and law, where you had the least number of hours, and because I wanted to pursue a basketball career next to it. And I opted for law because there was much less mathematics. So I went for that, but with no clear vision of whether I would be a practicing lawyer, whether I would go then into some banking world, etc. No clue at inception. But eventually, the idea was always to try and see whether the, let's say, wealth structuring world would be a good fit for me. I don't know. I was always drawn to that coming from Switzerland, and that's where I ended up. So there you go, full circle.
What a great answer by Yann. I've been really trying to find ways to get out of math class.
Let's be serious. It's so important to be open to different possibilities. So speaking to him, he seemed like the type of guy to have everything planned out. I mean, who would have guessed?
You're right, Sophie. I guess we can all learn from this. It is okay not to have a plan going into college, even if you suck at math.
Enough with you and math. You know what, this kind of calms me down a little bit, because throughout being in high school, from the age of 14, there's counselors chasing you, trying to tell you, oh, you have to know like what pathway you want to go down. You're supposed to know what you want to do. And that's like a choice you make for the rest of your life. And at 15, you're supposed to know what university you want to go to. Like, what?
I mean, you captured it perfectly. The younger generation these days does have it really tough and stressful. I mean, that's why it's always so interesting to hear from people who've actually gone through the whole process.
Funny enough you said that, because he did mention taking courses that he thought would have almost nothing to do with what he wanted to end up doing in the future.
So the legal world in Switzerland is interesting, because when I was at university, I actually had to pick finance, and I had to pick some economic courses and some bookkeeping. Believe it or not, this is what I use the most today, while the career is grounded on law. So it's often these ancillary thematics and topics that then give you an advantage when you go against peers that are maybe a little bit more, let's say, focused on the one item. In fact, there's a book about this. I need to find the name. It's on our website. And it's why generalists succeed in an increasingly specialized world. And I think we have crossed that path now. We are at a place where people are over-specialized too early. And that's a flaw. And me as an entrepreneur, when I look at people with a varied interest base, with that think differently, that took their time, that failed, not necessarily the people that have A's across the board.
So, now moving on to Yann's entrepreneurship role. Yann launched MHQ in 2009. Since then, he's had a lot of noticeable success.
And having the opportunity to speak with him, we know that starting a business is not always an uphill process. So we had the opportunity to ask him to share with us the challenges of being an entrepreneur in Dubai.
Well, when I launched the business, I was lucky because I had spent 2-3 years at a law firm prior to that. I had very early managed to generate a client book, which is clients that actually you are servicing directly, with whom you have built a rapport. Our industry has faced a few changes, regulatory ones, over the past 20 years in terms of anti-money laundering, in terms of anti-terrorism financing. And these are extra layer of regulation that come on banks and people in the finance and parafinance industry. And when these challenges came, we had two options. Either you pivot fast and you adjust and you try to lead the change, or you try to hold to old habits and often disappear. So we had to take some decision at some stage. We discontinued some services that were known in the market for offering. Why? Because we knew that these would disappear over time. So we were convinced by our approach, and we were right. But we failed too. We launched, for example, a tax practice much too early in 2012, and there was no buyers at the time. So for 2 years, we maintained a tax team without it ever becoming profitable. But we learned from that. We used them for other tools. It helped us also position ourselves in the market, and we came back to it years later. So challenges you are going to have. I talked about entrepreneurship before. That's what it's all about. Is you are going to take. You have to take decisions, and you have to accept that many of these will be incorrect. But that's no big deal. You just adjust, you take stock, and then you move on to the next decision. And you hope that in the big picture, most of your decision will be right. And more importantly, the consequences of your decision will be correct.
Wow, Soph. Yann really demonstrated resilience and determination by choosing to discontinue some services, knowing that they would disappear over time. I know this must have been hard, having created something that you no longer need.
Yeah, you're right, but let's leave the challenges and talk about some of his guarantees of success during his startup. It's over to you, Yann.
And eventually it's the quality of the work you do, but also the quality of the relationship you build with patrons, with clients, every engagement that you have with them. It's not just sending them a box of chocolate, it's to doing that meaningfully. If I know that a client has a particular fondness for some sort of wine, but that he never dared to buy it, you know what? I will go the extra mile and try to not only to find him this, but also to try to find something very memorable around this. It doesn't just receive a bottle, he receives an experience. And that's what it's all about. It's caring about the small detail. You are in a service business. The quality of your work comes first, but very closely behind is the quality of your relationships.
Yeah. Okay, Jaden, what an incredible story Yann has so far. But that was all in the past.
Yeah, so let's hear about what he would change if he could go back.
Big on embracing the journey with its highs, sure, but also its countless lows. So on being rigorous on going through that process that I mentioned at the top. Mm-hmm. So this is, so if you have to formalize that, that's probably something that I would have done earlier, is what is my approach to doing that? And one of the pillars of this approach is to give without expecting anything in return. So in times, if you do it the right way, meaningfully, it will all come back to you in mysterious and unexpected ways. I mentioned this tradition of we have at MHQ of Book of the Year that I pick and we give to our staff, our clients, key relationships, supporters, etc. And one of the earliest of these was a book called The Go Giver, which is a small book packed with a big idea. The surest path to success is to give your time, an advice, a smile even. And this was an epiphany when I read it, because it was what I was instinctively applying in my day-to-day life. It was there in front of me on paper. And the consequence of visualizing it motivated me to double down on the concept, to no longer question, focus on the immediate return, but really to say, look, give correctly to the right people and everything will come back to you and will benefit everyone around.
Jin, he has a point. Regret is a big thing and we shouldn't have to need to think about it and evaluate our past so much.
Yeah, it's like that one saying. You know how it goes. Don't worry about the past. Worry about the future.
Okay, sure. But I think our next question was something that he actually does believe in, and that's looking ahead.
So I mentioned the fact that having been there in this industry 20 years and having tried to lead it, our objective was always, hey, what can we contribute to make Dubai and the UAE at large the number one structuring center in the world and one of the premier financial center in the world? The vision was to establish ourselves as a key player in that ecosystem and to push it up. So the vision today is that MHQ and our sister firm Reefing continue to play a pivotal role in driving the Abu Dhabi global market and the DIFC as they position themselves at the top of the food chain across financial centers. We want to be known for the quality of service that we provide, but also the fact that only us can provide what we do the way we do. We want to continue to build this ecosystem around us and be a key player in that. And hey, if that doesn't make everyone happy, so be it. There is a scene, I know you know this movie, Iron Man, where Tony Stark's answer his rhetorical question, is it better to be feared or respected? By saying, is it too much for us for both? Well, this is our motto. We play fair, but we want this ecosystem to thrive. And if we are pushed around, well, sometimes we're nice guys, sometimes we're not.
You know, Soph, I can really start to see the entrepreneur side coming out. The way he knows what he wants makes him a very confident person. And that's what a lot of people look for.
Yeah, you're completely right. And I kind of hope I'll have such a trait eventually going into work myself.
Moving on to Yann's advice for you all. Wait, he did mention some points to you, didn't he, Soph?
Yeah, he did say some valuable stuff, especially coming from a person with this much experience in both the entrepreneurship and the law world. So listen to what he told us.
So I think it goes without saying that I would tell you to work hard, but you have no idea how harder you can work than what you think is really hard work. A lot of people around you have a job, study languages, travel, do competitive sport, and yet they still manage to get good grades. So I would say work your butt off, work very hard, but work smart. Allocate the right attention, the right time to every task, focus, and I would say socialize meaningfully. It's not necessary to have 10,000 friends on LinkedIn or wherever you socialize in the digital. It's all about in-person relationship. We may have forgotten a bit of that during COVID. I can tell you, it's a pillar of what I've been doing. Every time I travel, now I'm going to Singapore, I'm hosting 3 dinners back to back, 10 people each time. And every time we put the right person next to the other one, etc. We have a small attention for them. We have a gift for everyone. We connect them after. This is engaging meaningfully. And I do that in my business, but do that all the time. Focus on the right people. Do not have around you people that are, we call them vampires, because they only take, and they never give. So work hard, work smart, have fun, and socialize meaningfully.
I think that was a great way to end off our first episode to the podcast. Don't you think, Jaden?
Yes, Soph, I think you're completely right. I might even take his advice to heart myself.
Not a bad idea, Jaden, not a bad idea.
Should we recap what we've learned from Yann so far?
Sure. So, from the lovely interview we had with Yann, he told us many interesting and valuable points. He taught us that even if you exit your high school career without a set down plan, it doesn't mean that it's all over and like it's the end of the world. I mean, look where he ended up today. He practically deals with rich people every single day.
I mean, you're not wrong, Soph, but it didn't come easily to him. He still had to go to law school, which definitely is not an easy major to take up. We were also curious if such a successful entrepreneur had any obstacles along the way, which we learned from him that yes, there were. But as long as you keep persevering, it will all lead to good things. Like a competition, for example. Doesn't it motivate us all?
Yeah, it does. And he also told us how he made sure not to only focus on avoiding these challenges, but also ensuring the success of his platform.
Oh yeah, it was something like making sure to establish good relationships with your clients and always having to do your best. We also learned what great entrepreneurs' minds think like. He did say that he doesn't exactly believe in regretting the past, but embracing the journey instead.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh, and when he said that he hopes to continue to lead in this specific market, both locally and globally, I mean, it may seem like an obvious goal, but it was definitely really important. It's something that keeps him and his team striving for success, and it's something that they've been doing for like the past 16 years.
Yeah, Soph. You know what? I really do like Yann a lot. He left us with some very valuable advice. It was like the perfect ending.
Yeah, but you know what would be the perfect ending?
Yep. I've been Jaden.
I've been Sophie.
And we'll catch you at the next junction. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Insight Junction Podcast. We recommend you listen to more podcasts to learn more about different stories. Until next time.